September 27th, 2022. Marcus Giovanni here. League of Women Voters, Colorado Politics for Denverites News. These are the culprits right here. Here's the women of We Only Go for the Administrators, the top brass, the directors, and all that points in between. And then what happens is we take all their conversations that they've ever said. It's up in the cloud that they think they deleted from their emails, text messages. They don't realize that because of their position now being nonpartisan, now when Biden hires these new tax IRS guys, they're coming after everybody. They have no prejudice. And one of the big tickets are going after the nonpartisans that have been collecting and becoming millionaires, to where their worth and what they're putting in is not match the dollars that they make, and it's only made by attaboy handshakes and attagirl and his nose up her ass and her ass up his nose. And I've never seen a bunch of kiss-ass administrators in my entire life. And I've watched it from afar. I've watched it where I was invited. I've watched it where I just photobombed them. We can watch them from from the air. We can listen to anybody through laser. We can do anything we want. We all can, especially if we work together. But it's shameful. I'm just proud that our kids haven't gone and started smashing up businesses, because some of these people don't have insurance to cover like the big boy shops do. So if you're gonna go loot, don't loot the mom and pops, because they probably don't have the insurance. Don't fuck up your neighborhoods. Go do somewhere else. I mean that sincerely. If it's gonna happen, don't do it in your house. Don't shit in your bedroom. Don't shit in your grass. Don't shit in your neighbor's yard. Don't shit in your neighbor's business. Don't shit in the business you're in to get your food. So obviously you guys gotta take that somewhere else. And as long as they ain't in Denver, I don't care what you do. That's how we gotta be, folks. We can't worry about what other people are doing, or this place over here has got twice as much more crime than Denver does. That's the old look at it. Look at over here. You know, the diversions. Look at here. It's worse over here. Uh-huh. Oh, shit, it's worse over there. Okay, Denver's okay then. Folks, go take a look at history. What we should have been. Man, living like Jetsons with flying cars. And that's where we were headed. I looked it up. I studied it. People told me. Denver's not supposed to be a fucking follower to nobody, not even the federal government. The government needs to come to us when they want something. But we've got lost in the victimhood generation. Give them an EBT card, give them a cell phone, give them enough money so they can get their Cheetos and get on all fucking high fucking carb diets where they're getting zits and they don't feel good about themselves. They don't take showers, so they stay in the room because they don't want to go buy deodorant because it costs too much money. They don't have a car, so they have to take a bus, and they're miserable because now it's winter time and it really fucking sucks outside in Denver during the winter time when there's a storm coming. And just one day storm can ruin your whole winter. And then by the time you get from the sun and everything's good, another one comes in, but it's for 3 days. And now you got to ride your bike at 9 degrees when snow slosh is nailing you. So all that money, we're going gerbil, folks. It's called gotgerbil.com. That just gives you a little bit of look-see of what we got planned. We can't put the real thing up there because we have people that think they know more than me. And they think their IT people are better than us. And they're about to get a rear naked choke, digital choke. This ain't no threat against anybody in the mortal world. We love everybody. We don't want people coming after us. We don't want nobody coming after you, so we just keep neutral. right? So what I'm going to do is, how do I teach a government that's taken over itself since 1963, and the people that should know weren't old enough to know, and now that they do know, what do they know, and what did they know when they found out they didn't even know that they knew it, but they do now? I said that specifically that way for a reason. See, when I make my videos, I don't have to rely on anybody watching it. It's a series of communications that we establish with virtual machines that have learning capabilities, that are looking for knowledge-based trust type content that's verified, like handing in your government ID to Google. That's what we do for people. That's the level we're at right now. And there's a lot of people that don't know, that could have known if they just would have taken the time and stuck with Google. And that was a whew. But that's what makes us going to be the greatest people. We're going to take our 18-year-olds, we're going to take, and even if they can't afford to move out, say they're 18 and they went to all of our high schools, you know what? We're going to give you money. Okay? We're going to take care of the homeless, but that money, that you're going to get it as a fresh start. And we're going to do that because with me as mayor, I'm going to sponsor 20 kids the day they're born. I put $100 a month for 12 years because it's a 12-year plan. Because when the 12-year plan is hit, then women with the merits and ability and a history of doing awesome things for themselves, growing as women and nothing more. Not, they want to talk about poor and all the other things, but that's not what got them there. It's who they are is what got them here. It wasn't because they were black. It wasn't because if they were black, then they're all race. If they were Indian, they're Asian, yeah, and I walk down the street, Colfax, I see India, I see Pakistanis, I see all types of people, black, white, Asians, running their stores. And every day they open, they get scared that maybe this is the day that flash mob from one of the high schools come in and thrash their store, their investment, their retirement, and shit all over it. As the city councils watch as they bloviate each other and kiss each other's ass and do all that sloppy Joe shit. I can't stand anybody in the city council. If I could show you, you could go to New York. They just banned digital HR resume development in regards to having artificial intelligence pick the employee for that job. And I guarantee you it can come into almost 99.9% accuracy. And that other 0.1%, I guess, of what that is, someone could teach me. I'm not I never pretended to be a mathematician, but yet I can see numbers like a mathematician in a way that suits me and what I do for my life and my living. And that's why I'm here. Because as mayor, any of those mayors, especially League of Women Voters, they've all been indexed. And today I indexed them again. And so when they go and they start sending their emails and they start plotting again about how they're not going to have a Denver mayoral debate and they're going to pick and choose, well, we're just going to have these 3 women and we're going to go ahead and pick this other guy because he was the first one. Sorry, Giovanni. Sorry, Jesse. You're just not quite worthy enough. Kiss my ass, biatches. You heard me? Who the fuck do you think you are? This ain't 19. You heard me? It's time to battle women. I'll let my hair down and I'll battle you. I'm doing it now, and I don't have to do anything. I'm not threatening. I'm just telling you I'm going to use the words that you all been spurting out that are up in the clouds against you. And I'm going to take all your words that you've been promising Denver and all the voters on empty fucking promises that fill your fucking purses with all kinds of loot so you can go continue your suppression of candidates and our election system. And with me, I just say to go fuck yourselves, but that wouldn't be very gentleman of me. So I'm going to let artificial intelligence bend you all over digitally. And I swear to God, you'll never ever step in a political arena ever again. And you know what's so beautiful? It's just the administrators. You can't blame the sheeple that know the truth, but they keep going in a direction that's spinning their wheels and nothing's getting better. But the organizations are getting richer and they can't do that anymore. And see, that's the money that Joe Biden's coming to get. You know, you think they're going to they turn on each other, and it's about to happen to the fatted calves that think that they've been, especially in Denver, because Denver's been illegal for quite some time. They were first indexed over 10 years ago, and in 2015 they were indexed as a monopoly government. And we tried to tell everybody, but we just needed them to come out of the closet. What were they saying? I want to be that fly in the wall. Oh, I am the fly in the wall. That's right, because all their devices are recording everything that they say and sticks it into data storage facilities all over the world in regards to what they're talking about. It all goes over here, and that content goes over there. It's dissected. And they can dissect a sentence forward, backwards, 2 words, 1 word, 3 words, 4, 6 words, 7 words, 3,000 words more. It's learning at a rate that I don't even understand. But we're ignoring the great minds. We're ignoring the 30-year cycle of how things work and how things grow. And now we're learning about the 10-year indexing that Google and all internet provider, anybody, that's the new social credit system scores and rankings.com, to which we own. It's an asset that we're going to get the best people. You remember that app I told you about, like in New York City? They abolished that. They made it so that they can't use those apps in trying to find the best qualified people because they say that it's bias. So an employer can put down all the things that it wants. And we're talking about human social connectivity, thought, playing, games, ideology, politics. It can go into areas that you don't even know they're going into. Artificial intelligence. It's like electricity and water. It can take its least resistance in the digital cracks of the World Wide Web. And that's what makes it a web, because those cracks are only the cracks in between the webs. And so what we're using now to catch everybody is their voices. And then what we do is we pattern match the voices to their GPS. And then we seal the deal with the cell phone tower pings that'll put it all together for them. So criminals, when the police realizes, and here's the thing, we need to keep our policemen safe. We can't have them going and pulling over cars for speeding, or the motorcycle police. We can't have it no more. It's not safe for them. It's not worth it. I'd rather them drive their motorcycles during parades and good times and driving through the schools and letting the people, give kids a motorcycle ride on it and get involved that way, and maybe tone down the Gestapo uniform look only when it's needed. But we don't need that no more. It's not conducive to what Denver's all about. There has to be a sane community somewhere where everybody watches each other's back, because we're heading into some very dangerous times. There's many people thinking they understand what sustainability is, but they have no clue because they never lived to where they had to sustain themselves for a long period of time when they had nothing. And people I find in Denver, most of them have read it in a book and they're very educated, but they've never lived it. They've never experienced it. And before, those people could bullshit all the other people in their circles and not let anybody else in. And therefore, we don't grow as a community because we're locking out other brilliant minds that are far brilliant than ours. And they're 10, 15, 20 years younger than we are. And so the Denver, the 18, 28s, 38, 48-year olds, something I'll never be again. And that's a fucked up thought, man. You know, it really is. It's just a fucked up thought because for me, I know where I'm going. It's a beautiful thing for me. I live, you know, people that are 18, man. My dad says, son, you don't know that you'll make it as old as your grandpa. You don't even know you'll make it old as me. And I go, well, I gotta make it to you. I mean, come on, Dad. He's right. When they say only the good die young, that's because they died doing stupid shit. Don't believe the songs. Look at the people that have died young. They did stupid shit. If all them people didn't do the drugs or that, or they were too big, they were too famous, they didn't have any friends. Everybody was taken from them all. Everybody that they thought needed something was just there to want something. And when that want got taken off because they realized that it wasn't something they needed, it was something they wanted. And those people I find to be the most evil, parasite, scumbags I have ever dealt with. And it's amazing because there's a lot of people that try to take people on face value. Other people, hey, they won't talk to you because you're black. They only want to talk to white. I understand. I know black people that only talk to black people. No whitewash there. Okay? There ain't, man. The darker you are, the deeper your roots go to that society of purebred. Same with whites. That's what I'm not. I see everybody talking about dogs and how pure they are and all this, and what about the human race? God had wanted all us to be the fucking same. Everybody would look alike. Couldn't tell the guys from the girls. We all look alike. But he put us all down here to see how we could be tempted to cross the line and water down our once in a lifetime of purebred. You know what I mean? I know it sounds weird, but that's what I wish I was pure something, man. I'll take whatever I'm gonna get because that's what I'm gonna get. If I'm just gonna be a dishwasher all my life and I'd be a black man, well then that's okay because I gave those people the best fucking guy they ever had, and when I'm gone, they miss me. But at least I know I come from something, some fucking something. I'm Central American, Iberian, West Nigerian Jew. I was adopted in a very strict Irish Roman Catholic Republican family. Strict. My dad was a beast. He was a Golden Gloves boxer from Brooklyn. He got stationed out, and that's where I learned to fight. I wasn't allowed to tell people. My dad was an engineer. He was a staff sergeant in the Korean War, Luke Air Force Base. That's where he met my mom. My mom was an island girl, white girl, born on Catalina Island. They were friends with the Wrigley family. They watched the bird sanctuary in Catalina Island. Look it up. My grandpa, Homer. I have a grandpa named Homer. He passed away, but he was a tour bus operator up there, up in Catalina Island, where my mom was born. I'm adopted, so some people, when I tell my story, say, well, it's not like it's your real mom. Whew, man. Huh. So I learned to always tell my stories even more, to flip those people out that wanted to try to destroy me because I was telling cool stories that they never got to live, so they throw their little innuendo with, it's not like it's your real mom or your real sister or your real dad. Then I wait for us to get outside when nobody was around and we have a conversation. one-on-one, mano-y-mano. Tell me what it is that you don't did you had to treat me like that. And it's always the same. I'm sorry. Cool. Wanna go smoke a bowl? Get a lot with smoking herb, folks. Smoke herb before you pick up that alcohol. Try it. Take little puffs. You know what? I'm gonna tell somebody a secret. When everybody said Bill Clinton was lying that he didn't inhale, I was probably the only person in the entire world that believed Bill Clinton. Because when I was 13 years old and I was faced to smoke my first marijuana fucking cigarette with the most beautiful girl in the whole Desert Sands junior high, um, I didn't inhale. I remember I tried 3 times, and there was this guy there that said, "Hey, you're not inhaling. Give me that back." And the next hit came around. I had no choice but to inhale. And it was that inhale that put me in a complete perspective of my whole life, slowing down, actually knowing where I was at, who I was with. And ever since then, I've been smoking weed as my Ritalin. And I think that parents should have more control with their doctors so that they can discuss what's best for their kids on a marijuana smoking before they get to the chemical dosing. And I believe that for me, all drugs should be legalized. Cuts it out. Everything's now it's fair game. Now people are selling it, boxing it up, but the trick is you got to have a doctor. It's because I've listened to other people and I agree, but my argument back to them is tell that to Michael Jackson's doctor. So no matter what we try to plan or what we try to do, it's never enough for the ever changing mind of a young child. It's what they see is what they become. And there's a lot of people having kids that shouldn't be having kids, and we're not teaching our kids not to have kids. We teach our kids not to know anything and just be on their cell phone and be disrespectful to each other and be disrespectful and not offer them anything, and they get caged up and they go to the next year and the next year and everything's the same, and then the teachers go on strike and everybody starts talking and they take the kids out of school, and then the next year it's another fucking problem, and the next year it's another fucking problem, and the next year they're all bloviating on how they took care of the problems, but in real life they've actually doubled because they have bullshit people talking more bullshit about what they're doing. It's all about to fall on top of them. It's about to fucking fall. That whole filth of what's being built for the last 60 years is about to tumble the fuck down on all of them. And it's sad. But you know what? Good news is, that's just digitally. You still got the employees of the city and county of Denver kicking ass like they always do, and that's why Denver don't crumble, because there's some damn good administrators out there to keep us all on point. There's just a couple flaky departments that are very Denver Health and Human Services. Our court systems are out of whack. When I'm mayor, I'm going to be able to go talk to the head judge, the presiding judge, and I'm going to introduce him to some magic that he's going to say, "Giovanni, if I knew it was this fucking simple, I wouldn't even need you here, brother. But you know what? I didn't, and you did, and so therefore you're very intelligent, and I want you to come in and help our judges so that we can keep an eye on the whole fucking court. We don't need to hire anybody. We don't have to do anything. We have total fucking control of our courts. Who's coming in, who's coming out. They're going to have screens in their courtrooms that are going to be so huge that you're going to be able, and with the most HD clarity, so that you can be the witness and you'll actually see things like a microscopic amoeba mating with another one to prove that life starts right there. So, but they're going to see it. And while they're doing that, they're going to have their own screen on their on their desks, on the bench. And they're going to be able to go and Google search instantly, just off people talking. Instant where he's talking. And then content's going to be coming up on his screen, pattern matching what he's saying in real time. I could do this shit, folks. Not just me. There's other people. That's how, who's building this stuff. So the people that build it, it's up to us to create our own metaverses and use their systems. And that's what we do. And that's what denvergov.org doesn't do. And for us to be major players in this world, we're going to have to really ramp up our children's education. We got to bring our college graduation rates up to at least 80%. Because if not, we're going to be bought out by someone else that came in and opened up a local Google because they put they got a virtual office somewhere and set up shop. And that their parent company has 98% graduation rate. What's going to sink Denver University is that in their governance laws, it talks about Denver's elections being non-partisan and that candidates can be associated with a party. And that's a lie, complete lie. And so what happens is when you notify certain people within those organizations and they want to ignore you, you can't complain to anybody else because you hit the top people. And when the top people say, well, I didn't get the email or I didn't look at the email, it doesn't matter now. We've won precedent cases where people have tried to play some woo-de-woo, and we won the email where they said they didn't get it, so therefore we're illegitimate. We had enough to show that it does matter and that he was just dodging. We won. So it's a precedent case. People can no longer in the city and county of Denver tell somebody, oh, he didn't send me the email. So anybody out there that has a go to court and you'll win. You just got to have your emails. And he can say, oh, I didn't open them or I didn't do that. Emails are everything. And they're just like sending mail. But it's digitally and it's forever. Forever, folks. Because it never leaves the cloud, especially if a person gets put on a list or if you have a high authority. Then those algorithms will Dewey Decibel your asses, everybody's asses. It's going to be down to DNA. You're going to see some major stuff coming, man. It's like socialgulag.com. We're working on a movie. I already did the song. Gonna probably do it over again, but it's still good to listen to, and it's raw, live, and but it's called socialgulag.com. They're coming, and they're gonna put everybody in this place. It's gonna happen, and it'll be to where, I don't want it to happen. This is a movie, but in real life, we're looking at nuclear war, man. On Father's Day this year, 2022, my son came to me and told me he joined the Army Special Forces, Army Ranger, or Army Ranger Special Forces. I'm dyslexic, so I know he told me the right way, but I was just blown away. And he waited, and I started tearing up, and because I've been fighting for my children through this Denver court clowns for a very long time. Not the court so much as the people associated and the magistrate judge that is completely decimated, desecrated the family court system, where I think she's damaged Karen Hubler, Magistrate Karen Hubler. I think she's damaged many, many, many lives. And I've had some good lawyers that turned bad lawyers, that were coward lawyers, like Block and Chapeau. I can't stand that dude Block. He is the biggest fucking puss I have ever met in my life. He thinks he's big fat guy. Thinks he's all burly. And damn, I, phew, I don't like him at all, man. And I don't like any of the other law firms or the woman that represented me. They're all in on it. They're all in on the bullshit jive and taking your kids away and hiring these lawyers. I got nothing to lose, folks. These people have everything to lose. They're going to end up in the tent city because it's going to switch to a more powerful attorneys that do what they say. They give their clients their cases back. They give their billing back, and if there's $4.10 left, they're going to give it back to the clients. They don't just keep it. Do you know how many lawyers have kept their money from me and not giving it back? And I got to go call them and hunt them down and have them return my fuck that so they can say, well, yeah, you spent about 30 minutes hunting me down. I had to listen, so I got billed. Oh, you dirty rat bastards. So, folks, I'm here to battle. And we're going to take Denver to the next level of knowledge and knowledge-based trust. And if you want to control the destiny and create residual income, like the oil companies do in Alaska, they all get money, checks. Well, we created some assets, digital assets that are worth billions, folks. And I saw this through highly advanced algorithms that we were doing back in 2003. And I gotten better and better and better and better and better. And here we are, 2022, showing everybody the reality of where we are, where we're going to go, and what's going to implode us. And we have to get rid of all this scum. So what happens is people go, oh, he called illegal women voters scum. Wow, if that glass slipper fits, ladies, wear it. It's up to you to change it. You've been indexed. You've been written in books. People have been talking about it. Nobody's had any balls because they were afraid that the legal women voters would come after them. Come after me. Because I've already set up the board game with you folks. It's already up. And all your voices, all the administrators, all of them, all their emails, all their photos, and the most beautiful is the audio files. Because like if you go into McDonald's or some of these restaurants, they don't have to tell you in Denver. It's up to the business if they want to tell you that the inside and outside is being audio and video recorded. You know, it's so funny about that, but when you look at the video cameras, one thing that every one of them businesses, from the top to the bottom, we can get a Hubble or a Webb telescope, take a picture from 17 billion light years away, and we can see the fly sitting on top of that pebble. But we can't get a camera that can ID somebody 25 feet away. Oh, shit. The other thing we're going to do, we're going to reward drivers for speeding in Denver. And here's what we do. Because you got to remember, the people that have those signs in their yards, 20's plenty, and it's 25 miles an hour. They want, slow down, 20's plenty on a 35-mile-an-hour road. Who the fuck are you, man? Not only is your yard sign a piece of shit, but it also breaks and goes down into our water drainage system, clogging everything up. I mean, people don't understand where those yard signs come. Those are the worst things you can ever do, especially the ones that have, they got a bandit on it in their neighborhood watch. And so when the gangbangers send their soldiers, through the neighborhood, they spot those kind of houses with the signs in the yard, because they know those are sympathizers. Those are people that think that they put those signs up in their yard that everybody will leave them alone because they are being part of the yard sign squad. when they're actually being targeted. If you look at the people getting home invasion, it's those people with those yard signs in their fucking yards are the ones that become the victims. And then they don't want to call the police or anything. And so what happens is, like they did in LA in the 80s, those criminals kept coming back every month for years. They had people under control for years, man, paying people money. Denver hasn't caught up to the real world because they've been sheltered by bullshit and all these federal ideologies about, and I'm telling you right now, Martin Luther King would be blowing fucking chunks seeing what Denver turned into because he's talking to Robert W. Speer right now. And see mortals sit there and laugh. Oh, he thinks he's okay. Believe me, folks, this ain't about me. And if you think you're the Silicon Mountains and you can't see the signs in front of you and you're willing to take the whole city down because of your grip that you have and you're embarrassed or you're ashamed or whatever, to let the power go and admit that we are a non-political government and that we are all Denver based off that, and that our whole sole purpose is the economy and services, and that all appointments are made based off merit and ability. It doesn't say anything in there that says anything about if you're fucking this person, you get to go ahead of the line. If your color is this color, you get to go ahead of the line. You know, what's going to happen is a gray's going to come down and just be one of those Spicoli dudes to test the stupidity of mankind. So they're going to send a gray down with that look like a Matthew McConaughey, but acts like a Sean Spicoli, the Sean Penn in Fast Time at Ridgemont High. And so he's not going to wait to do anything. He wants to be a brain surgeon. So he goes down to Denver Health and speaks to one of the neurosurgeons and runs into Dr. Breeze, best top neurosurgeon. He was my doctor. This is a true story about this one. Um, but that's for another story, another miraculous recovery without going under the knife. I mean that story is one that will make you cry, man. Even the toughest guy hear that story, they cry. But anyway, so he's going in there talking to Dr. Breeze, the Gray, and he says, "Hey, what's up, Dr. Breeze? I need to get me a job. I want to sit here and I want to go and he's a modern Spicoli. So he ain't gonna talk like the '80s Spicoli. So he's like, I need to go, get some cheddar, and I know that you brain surgeons like make all kinds of money for cutting up people's skulls and shit, and I kind of like want to cut up skulls just to see what it would feel like. So I'm here to apply for a job, and you gotta hire me because I'm gray." And so Dr. Breeze looks at the gray dude and says, "Okay, hang on 1 minute." He picks up the phone, calls up Denver Health and Human Services, and says, "Hey, I got this gray in here. Really good looking. Kind of looks like um, Matthew McConaughey, but talks like Sean Penn in the movie Fast Time at Ridgemont High, but in more modern day talk." So, anyways, I have this gentleman here, and he wants to be a neurosurgeon. And he wants to start cutting up brains. Uh huh. What? You mean tell me? Well, give him my job? Who's gonna? Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So he kills people. That's just part of collateral damage because you're answering to diversity and unearned sweat equity because he would never get a job anywhere else, as you're telling me? Folks, are you really going to let Denver fall another 4 years behind the already 12 years it's behind? And you think I'm the only one that knows this, and other people aren't talking about it because they've already known, they've already learned it. That's why my content goes way up. They don't have to look at my videos and views. My content is written based off what people are talking about or what we think people are going to talk about in the future. And when January 1 comes, you're going to see some major shit coming. Some people are going to see it and some people won't. And the ones that won't, I feel sorry for them. Especially the ones that have been warned. They're going to wake up because they've been walking the line. You know, the line that in the Bible about those that walk the line. That's the one God despises the most, is the one that walks the line. So, anyways, what do I know? Heard me? We're coming up on 40 minutes. If you've lasted this long, folks, you're going to heaven. Heaven's a beautiful place. I've seen it. That's why I keep doing what I do. You got to do great things. You can't stop. You can't be a couch potato. You got to keep working. You got to do that thing. You got to show that you really, really, really love life. And that you're going to stay healthy and you're going to do the right thing. You're going to help your fellow man and you're going to do the right thing. And you're not going to bloviate bullshit to make yourself rich. Artificial intelligence is coming, folks. It's been here for a few years now. And people worry about the hand of God, what it would do when it comes. You're about to get a taste of it digitally. How do I know this? Because we're the Edoclad Project. And we're out to protect the United States government. No matter how fucked up it is, it still is. And all the men and women in the armed forces, we got to have their back. We have to have the backs of our law enforcement. And we have to teach our children when the police, when Popo tells us to stand down, tells us to go home, we go home. That's why I'm alive. And some of my best friends are dead. True story, folks. I gotta tell you, man, I'll wrap my stories around here. You could take my whole life and every person that's running for office, and I'd still beat them all. As far as what I've done in my life, meta tags, how I was able to document everything, knowing about social standings, talking about it back in a long time ago. So when you know you got a guy like me trying to tell Denver about its greatness and its ability or inability to recognize greatness because they've all been sniffing each other's ass, licking behind each other's ear for so long that they can't see the reality of what is. They just want us to see the reality of what they say it is. And in the world of digital voice indexing and crosstalk indexing, it ain't gonna work. And so what's gonna happen with this next election, the more they talk about raising money, those are negative keywords. Raising money, here's the facts. Anything from those identifiers that have been using those terms for the same people. And then you have the League of Women Voters. They're the ones that are going to take a big shot. There's going to be a new group of people coming, and they're going to shut League of Women Voters down in Colorado. And they're going to be people of everything. They don't even tell anybody what they are. They're just there to make whatever they're all doing go smoothly. And that is a smooth running community. We gotta leave our religion and leave our politics at the fucking door. You know? It's time to leave that at the door, and it's time that mom and dad, grandma and grandpa, auntie and uncle, brothers and sisters, neighbors, those neighbors, those neighbors and those neighbors next to those neighbors and their families and next to those, we all go to our parks again. We take those geese that fly in, we tag them, and we start selling that meat or carving up that meat. We got a lot of high journeyman butchers here in this town, a lot, and they know their cuts, and they know we can get them to start cutting up some of this geese that come in, and we can't keep. You can't have this goose poop in our grasses in our parks. Your dogs are getting sick, and you don't know any of this. I do. How do I know this? Because I won a settlement in Florida because we got diseases on our skin from the goose poop that laid out, and mold and mildew and other just wacky shit in Florida. I mean, people running to Florida, they better be ready, man, because there's some scary creatures out in them. These people that are going in that don't know. Oh, I'm moving. You better know what it's like to live on a coast. I've lived on a coast the majority of my life, and they got some creepy crawlers going there. But what they don't have right now in Denver is a direction of being the digital metaverse. See, you could talk about Facebook calling themselves, when they all came out and said, oh, Facebook is no more. They're now called metaverse. Well, why is Facebook still open? Oxymoron, right? That don't mean shit because they don't know. They only know what they're doing in their specific metaverses for them. That what they're talking about are virtual. I saw people saying, "Oh, is the internet now the metaverse?" No, the World Wide Web is the entry point to whatever your metaverse is. And your metaverse is whatever you talk about, whatever you visit on the internet, wherever you go to party, all your friends, all their friends. Those contacts are related to those contacts. So when all of you are all together in a room, there's 30 of you partying, it's indexing every one of your conversations. And then the fun comes. Artificial intelligence is going to start playing that against the people that talk shit about other people. And see, our job is to be able to teach our children how to look for those. It's called reversed object-oriented programming. Look it up. Just look up object-oriented programming. And so the reason why we grow what we do is because we take what a person says, we match it to the records of what is. Like when Leslie comes out, Leslie Herod comes out, and she's been, she's defund the police. She's, tampons for people having their menstrual cycles, which I think was a needed thing, and why they weren't. And I always thought they gave women their menstrual stuff because I just know. So I don't know where that came from because maybe it wasn't mandatory, but they were always, from what I was told, they always gave a woman her toiletries that she needed. But maybe one or two women didn't get it. They're friends with her, and then Lisa figured, oh, here's a good drum beat to start beating on, and But the criminal reform and defunk the police were at record high murders. And now this one lady who's running as a black woman, lesbian woman, first woman mayor, first nothing on ability. Her main platform is, which I've been using for a very long time, Denver is ready. And so they came up with a hashtag. Now when you hashtag it, I've already used it. It's in the cloud. Because you didn't see it or find it doesn't mean it's there. That's what's the beautiful thing about what we do. Most of all, if not 90% of it's in the cloud. And once we get identifiers, I get alerts from Google when people are using words that I have clouded. There's your term. I've clouded this content so that once it's being manipulated or used, I get an alert. and then I'd see who copied it. Folks, you can learn how to do this too. Google lets anybody do it. I just do it better than anybody in the world right now. And because I am a major subject matter in my storylines, and those that are supposed to tell the story try to stick me in the back of the queue, especially when they're 30 something and they haven't lived life, and they're going to try to tell my people that are backing me, that are voting for me, and they don't follow me. Fuck no, they don't follow me. My people don't even watch my videos, except the ones we send them, or the ones other people send them, so we can stay off the radar. No, our content is for a betterment virus that will it multiplies. It's like RNA, DNA, and so conversations is what feeds it and creates more people of the same of what we need to move Denver forward in a promising way that was given to us all in an opportunity called the Spear Amendment, to where no, we're partisan. That's what they want you to think, but we're not. We're non-political. Big difference, folks. And they were able to spin it, but that spin can't go on. That's what I'm trying to tell the elders of Denver, man. See, we have elders, folks. And there's some very powerful people, and they're not going to lose any power. In fact, they're going to be protected better than what they're being protected now. Because now they know they can't bullshit artificial intelligence. Now they know that I've already built platforms that give them the protection, because they're the ones that are going to run it. It ain't going to be run by the government. It's going to be run by the citizens of Denver, the top citizens, the movers, the shakers. But we got to have elders in it. Elders that are willing to change the positions that they've been thinking for all these years into a new revolution, and owning it all. And knowing when they die, they're going to the next level of greatness, instead of what I've seen for some people, and not for me. I know, you know. And see, for me as mayor, man, I don't care what you do in our town. I'll protect you. I don't care if you're a pimp. I don't care if you're a gangbanger, especially if they're trying to take your kids away. I'll be out there at 3 o'clock in the morning with you guys. I've seen some badass young men, folks. I'm going to tell you. Notorious criminal. They'll tell you I'm a criminal motherfucker. I'm looking at him. Whoa. Yeah, I believe you, sir. We start laughing. I know where those cats. I know where those cats come from, man. And you all bottled them all up. They were great minds. And you let them fall through the cracks so you can keep your jobs as politicians. So I've helped gangbangers, especially gangbangers that got their kids taken away, and they're sitting up in jail. And some other guy's moved in there now, making another baby, and now he's trying to be daddy to all the babies and keeping the other guy out. You can't do that, man. No man should keep any man, and I've never in my entire life ever done that. He's trying to keep some man away from his child, unless the man's, you know, threatening. And I know that if he's threatening toward me, he'll be threatening toward the kid and to the mom. If he's cool with me and he talks and we work things out, then. But I know deep down he wants to just jump on me and try to rip my face off. But he knows that if he did that, he would get hurt tremendously. And he's a badass dude. Couple of them. So when you pick your battles, you got to make sure you know what you're fucking up against. And what these people are up against, they have no clue. But I will not be ignored by a bunch of women that have taken over the League of Women Voters and thinking that they are so high and mighty not to hold a Denver debate. You know what? We don't need you. We'll have one our own self. And it'll be big. We will take you polluted ladies out of our society and replace you with new ladies that will make Denver number one, being a nonpartisan is what keeps a non-political government going, because we're just government. We can't control a lot of things that Denver controls now, and they don't realize it because they've been bullshitting for so long, and their IT people have been so engulfed writing so many different URLs to try to keep ahead of controlling the commerce, the network conversations that they normally would not be able to use. Like when you do Colorado, you don't see a lot of the Colorado .gov content rising up because it's government. They don't want a lot of traffic. And so what Denver does, denvergov.org, that's an illegal, it's not illegal in the means of a government wanting to use that. They can, but it's Denver government organization that is not part of the .gov community that Colorado.gov had to eventually sign over to and abolish their websites. And in order to get the grants and all the other things that Denver needs right now to survive, they don't understand that these people will not tell them. And if they do tell them, the people that are supposed to tell their bosses won't tell their bosses because then they won't need them. So these are the things that artificial intelligence will take care of for us all. When that'll happen, I don't know. We gotta wait till everybody comes out of the closet. And what I mean by that is every time something happens, artificial intelligence waits to find out what the emotions and habits come out of whatever happened. Emotions, habits, and voices. And they're all now tied into GPS and cell phone towers with crosstalk indexing, where your voice is being picked up by the phones next to you. And if there's enough phones and they have their Bluetooths on, then they're going to turn all the other Bluetooths on. Did you know they can turn on the Bluetooth even if you have it turned off? Do you ever turn on your phone, all of a sudden your Bluetooth off, and you have it all turned off, and you get so frustrated, you say, oh, it just must be the way it is. No. Artificial intelligence is able to turn on the Bluetooth because of way back terms and conditions that someone signed a long time ago that didn't read it. Because most people, they come to a point where they have to read the terms and conditions and they want this app. So they, instead of reading what they're getting into, they agree to it because then if they disagree, they wouldn't get the app, so they just agree with it. Here's what's going to happen. All these apps that are coming out for free, they're getting everybody, we're going to have an apps tax. Because nobody's going to take money out of locals. You're not going to come in and have a digital app, run it in our advertising. So the only one that made money is the media and the app. And so that financial app just took away money from our local app, our local financial people who went to school to do what they do, and we don't know who these apps are. And see, what's going to happen is you're going to have what's called the collapse of the app, where people have so much money tied up in this app that the app's going to fold and take all the money, and it's going to be in a third world country that don't have shared laws of what, you know, you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to say it. You have to go learn what that is. Your own topics, your own stuff, your own thing. You have to figure it out, like I did. Because when you figure it out yourself and you don't have to learn it from somebody, you'll get the higher authority over those that had to go and study it. I've learned everything else on my own, except Google Cloud. That I had to go learn. And what I learned with that, we're going to be able to cut so much expenses out of the hardware and software that the city and county of Denver currently uses, but their IT people are outdated and they don't know how to do this. So what's good about me as mayor is that we can go fire the top 3 tiers of what they do because I can do what they do. It's not rocket science, folks, okay? It's not rocket science. And they're not the ones going in and doing the reliability checks and the system checks, and they got technicians for that. That's what keeps everything running good. So what we need to do is we need to collapse and create super administrators. Google search super administrators by Marcus Giovanni. So we're going to create these super administrators, which means that we're going to be able to take our current administrators and teach them to do more. And so this way we don't have to hire anybody new, and we can give them all raises. Because our administrators, I believe, not I don't believe that no nonpartisan should be like Denver Chamber of Commerce paying Kelly Brow $474,000 a year, and then she got to jump over to the Denver Metropolitan University of Denver, and they created a job to super pack her resume because it was really a dead resume, just for the um, chamber. So they came up with this new, and see, all this is in the back end, and these are sources that I know from people that went to school there that I met when I stood out there to get my signatures. These people still know people, and they tell me things, and they tell the Edelclad project, and they tell the other projects that are going on that are about to connect and bring the power back to the 18-year-olds, the 28-year-olds, the 38-year-olds, the 48-year-olds, something I'll never be again. And the good news is you guys are going to learn what this old man learned. And when you're 60, you're going to learn other things because artificial intelligence will take you there like it's taken me. I don't even have a high school diploma. Of all the things that I wish I could have the most would be that. But I ain't going to go get it. I'm not going to go do that because that's not who I am. I had my chance. Getting a high school diploma is not going to make me any better of a person. It's not going to take away or give me more anything that I don't already have, and that's knowledge. And realizing I can't take anything that I have, that I've owned some beautiful things, folks, that have all had to go bye-bye. Everything, my whole life, starting when I got kicked out of my house because I was used as an example by white people. Because this a little 123-pound Mighty Mo wannabe Bruce Lee destroyed a 6'2" bully, redhead, Ronald McDonald clown-looking bitch who terrorized my friends. Like, I had friends that were in the wheelchairs, that were the crutches, had Coke bottle glasses. Maybe sometimes they say, "What are you talking to us for? Shouldn't you be over there talking to them?" It's like, well, my locker's right here next to you guys, and what's wrong with you guys? And they all looked at each other, and they're like, "Well, what's your name?" I say, "Oh, I'm Mark." "Are you Mark Nelson?" I say, "Yeah." "Oh, hey, Mark, I always wanted to meet you. Oh, everybody says you protect us." I did, folks. And I even had some friends that were mean to them, and I had to put my friends in place. I never did it in public. Never did that in public. It's something you don't do. My parents never scolded us in front of the other kids. It was none of their business. And that's what we now do, is scold everybody and tell everybody the business. The next thing you know, it's up on Super Chat, or, they got these snitch apps now where students can use these apps to destroy people. They tried it on my daughter, but they didn't know. Can't do that with me. So I think Denver Public Schools is a big waste of fucking money. And the Cherry Creek school system, that's another bullshit fucking storyline. These people are all sucking you dry, and they're fucking your kids' minds up. That's how you know it's a God. They're not gonna let all those people fuck those kids' minds up and get away with it. So let them have their thing. You just got to do your thing. Because I was homeschooling and it worked. And it takes the pressure off the teachers that aren't getting enough money to get the aids they need to slow things down so that they can take care of themselves. Have you seen some of our teachers? I seen this one teacher. She had a fucking hole in her tennis shoe, and her little pinky toe was sticking out. I just seen this little pinky toe with pink um, toenail polish, and I right then I loved that teacher, and I loved all my kids' teachers, folks. They were so, especially the eldest fourth grade, the third and fourth grade teams. I met some women there that were just unbelievable, unbelievable, and it's those kind of women I want coming to work for us. We need those kind of women, women that they're not afraid to tell a parent, look, your kid's brilliant, but you got to do this, this, and this. It's going to take you. Well, I ain't so brilliant. Matter of fact, I don't even have a high school diploma. And as soon as I said that, the teachers were like, okay, then we'll help you. I'm ADHD chronic. Oh, that explains things. I'm also very dyslexic chronic. Okay, that explains your emails. That's who I am, folks. I'm a fucking wreck. When I was growing up, I dreaded having to write anything in front of anybody. So if I could tell you the most things I wish I could have, I wish I could write, spell, grammar. But if I knew how to do those things, I would know how to do the specialty things I can do, which is I'm a linguistic binary code extractor, and I can see things sideways, up and down, at a glance, and it just stares at me, and I write it down and I write my stories. And that's what we can teach our kids. That's what's going to get us at the level to where everybody will want to come to our colleges because we're not full of shit. We're helping all fathers keep their children. We're helping families stay together. They tried to destroy my family, and but I didn't let them do it. And my kids, both of them work for the federal government, and my daughter's just doing her thing. So I got two kids working for the federal government, and that's a good thing. The federal government will take care of them when they work hard. They're making big money too. So if my kids went to college, they'd be learning all that other shit that they're teaching them. And my sons could have went to West Point and Citadel. They had invitations. My one son, and the one son that didn't, well, he ended up joining the Army Rangers, getting into special forces, and he told me on Father's Day that he'd rather go on his terms than be drafted. And he said, Pop, I know you don't want to hear this, but we're going to war. I said, son, don't tell me that. Because I've been telling you since I was 4 years old. Because remember all those pictures? Yeah, they're in my drawer. And he said to me, somebody has to do it. And it takes a team. And I'm on that team, Papa. We're the best right now. I gotta go. And then he hugs up. And what's sad is that no matter how hard you fight to keep the kid in your life, your children, there's always someone there in the system that are willing to pull it out with a smile on their face. And a lot of that has to do with women not being there for the single dad. They only see the single mom. And they have to always paint the dad as the bad guy. When actually, dads are good guys. My dad was the best guy in the entire world. He was my pop. I was an Irishman by proxy. I didn't know I was a different color until I saw myself in a mirror when I saw him at dinner table. My dad took the mirror down. No reflections. Just what we see of each other. I remember one time when I was like, hey, Dad, what do I do about my arms? And he just laughed. Because you watched everybody, 9 people eating dinner every night. It was like Thanksgiving, folks. 9 people. Anybody that has a family of 9 knows what. People are like, oh. People that never, like, they'll come over during dinner. Wow, what did you guys have Thanksgiving? No, we had dinner. There's 9 of us. Anyways, and 9 is such a tough. It's easier to cook for 10 people than it is 9 people. That's what my dad used to say, anyways. But we ate a lot of Air Force type foods. My dad loved it. I don't know. In Brooklyn, I guess they can eat anything. But I went to Brooklyn and it's kind of messed up. But anyways, we got to change things, folks. We got to get moms helping dads that don't have moms for whatever reason. And we got to get parents. We got to teach children early. You know, like I see us have